This is an ABP Live Podcast.
Do you sometimes feel in life that everything is moving so fast? There are deadlines that you need to cover, there are projects that need to be done, there are goals that need to be achieved, and everything is just running and running and running, and there is no break. That you don't have just a moment to breathe and live life? Well, then I have the perfect book for you, Ashramed by Dahlia Sen Oberoi. Dahlia Sen Oberoi is an IPR lawyer, and in her fast-paced life, she needed a break. And that is when she decided on going on a 30-day yoga retreat. She went to a yoga ashram and stayed there for 30 whole days. She left her life behind and took the much-needed break that was required. And then she penned that 30-day yoga ashram experience of hers in a book by the name of Ashramed. So to tell you more about her book, today we have with us Miss Dahlia Sen Oberoi herself. Let's welcome her on ABP Live Podcast. Hello, Miss Dahlia. How are you doing? And what is keeping you busy these days?
Life is very, very good. I've just released my first book, my debut book, rather late in life. So I'm very excited. And it's all very new for me. So yeah, happy times.
I don't think that there is anything like late in life because we keep on learning, we keep on doing things. So I think it's great that you had something in mind and you actually achieved it. Late ya jaldi is, I honestly don't believe in all that.
Absolutely. So true, Niharika. I absolutely agree. In fact, that's what the message is all about in my book, that there are no timestamps.
Right.
And whatever you want to do it at any age, any stage in life. So absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We live in a very fast-paced world where we actually don't understand that we actually need to sort of slow down, take a break. So how did that realization dawn upon you that you need a break and you need to do something else?
Because I am very much a part of that pack of people that is running. I'm very much a part of the rat race. I have been a lawyer now for 30 years. A very highly stressed professional. I'm an IPR lawyer. Okay. And lots of traveling, lots of meetings, lots of court, lots of advising. So I was at the thick of things. Also a family person. I have a family. So, in life, obviously, maybe not one specific incident, but, bit by bit, day by day, you're doing the same thing professionally, personally,
right.
Socially, over and over and over again. And there comes a time when you're just tired of it all. And you realize that if you do not press pause, you probably will just drown in that kind of sea that you have right. all around you. I think that's what happened to me. I didn't know it then. I was telling myself all kinds of things that I want to learn yoga. I want to, spread the message of wellness. But I think it all amounted to the fact that I needed that break. I needed to unwind. I needed to meet myself. I needed to reacquaint myself with myself.
That's a very positive way to, transition from a fast pace to a rather slow and break kind of a period in a life. And to find yourself is actually a bigger question that we all need to understand, whichever point in life that we are at.
Absolutely, yeah.
How was this transition? Was it challenging for you to actually, the kind of life and routines that we have in our everyday, life? So how did you transition from a really fast-paced life to a rather slowed down version of a routine?
I think I was absolutely ready, Niharika. I think that's what was needed. That was what was required. And subconsciously, unconsciously, I was going towards that. I was in denial. I wasn't accepting it. I wasn't saying it to myself that this is what I need, but that's exactly what I needed. So I adapted rather well, though it was perhaps the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. Those 30 days were the most challenging. And yet I craved it. I absolutely, even now, if I got the chance, I would just go back. And if you've read the book, you would know how difficult it was for me. It was really, really everything that I do not do in my daily life, I was doing it there. Straight from, constantly sitting on the floor, not having a laptop, no phone, writing with a pen, on paper. The kind of food that we had, so much of exercise, meditation, satsang, lots of singing of devotional songs. So yeah, everything that I could not even ever imagine that I could do or I would do, I did. So very, very challenging, and yet I was ready for it. I was absolutely ready.
You've penned down your experience of living at the ashram, and as you trained to become a yoga teacher, that is in your book called Ashramed. So what motivated you to write your experience for people to read out there? What was the motivation behind it?
The biggest motivation, I of course definitely was, I'm a creative person. I always wanted to write a book, but I always thought I'll write fiction. So this particular book came about definitely because I wanted to share my experiences with people out there, because I know my story. I may be a lawyer, I may be a doctor, I may be a journalist, I may be anyone, but I know the kind of life we professionals lead.
Right.
And so through this book, I definitely wanted to share my experiences. Idea being that I want to put it out there that, hey, do take a chance on yourself. Don't give up just because we feel that, okay, now I am of a certain age and I am, in a certain profession. I cannot do this, but I can do this. So break all those molds, whatever limitations we have around ourselves, and just go out there, take a break. And taking a break is not giving up. That's the message I want to put out there. And I genuinely wanted to share my experiences. And I've been saying this a lot, that if my book can help even one person, then it would be worth it. This entire writing would be worth it.
I think beyond a point, once we hit that section of our life where we have established ourselves into a particular career, we feel that that is it. That is going to be it for the rest of our lives. And we don't really understand that there is still learning to do. There is still passions to be followed. And if we actually get into those things, it's not that difficult to sort of, bring it into our daily routine along with our professions as well. So I think that's a very positive way of looking towards life, and that too sort of beyond our 40s and 50s, when we feel ki now this is the stagnant point we've hit in our lives. Where beyond this, it's all going to be same. It's all going to be pretty monotonous. So I think that's a very new, I'd say, outlook towards adult life and towards your maybe later ages in your life. So that's amazing.
Absolutely. And especially in India, that's what, growing up, you're told that, okay, settling. What does settling mean?
Exactly.
Settling means you're married, you have a job, you have children, and that's it. But no, so all of us are individuals, and you're as old as you feel, as you believe yourself to be. And we need to push our boundaries all the time. And I have tried to, keep going back to my hobbies of dancing and of writing poetry and songs and stuff like that. But yoga, going to a yoga ashram was definitely never ever on my list of things to do. So this really, I would say, the yoga ashram called me. The ashram called me. And I was absolutely ready to explore that side of myself, that spiritual side, and the side where not just you practice it with your body, but you also practice it with your mind and your soul and your spirit. So yeah, that's what happened to me, and I can't say the best thing to have happened.
Definitely. And ma'am, would you like to share with our audience that what is your book about? Give us a background and give us an understanding of how you have explained your experience of living at the yoga ashram for 30 days. How have you worked it through your book?
So I have 30 chapters in the book. So I've tried one day from the ashram life and put it into each chapter, just try to describe that. Because like I'm saying, if it was so new to me, I'm sure it will be very, very new to other people as well.
Definitely.
Because we all have these preconceived notions about ashrams and about religious places and stuff like that. So I really wanted to share what exactly I went through. So the book Ashramed, of course, Ashramed is a coined word. I'm a trademarks lawyer, so I like to coin. I like to coin new words, new names. So Ashramed is, of course, no English language word called ashram. So of course there is ashram, and the ed I have added to make it like an adjective. The ashramed state of mind is what I'm calling it. So in the book I have written about my experiences, how they changed me as a person, as a professional, in every walk of life that I have. It has changed me. So that's what I've written about. I've written about also, one of the persons who reviewed my book, they used a very nice terminology. They said it's also a social commentary, not just a narrative of my time at the ashram. It's also a social commentary, and I agree, because I've talked about a lot of social issues as well, be it issues that we face as women, issues as we face as of being of a certain age, of religion. I'm a Hindu, I'm a practicing Hindu, so all the challenges that we face there. There are a lot of, and I have kind of woven it into my story, into my narrative, and whatever I thought I have put on paper. So my readers, it's still a very new release. Whoever is reading it is coming back with a reaction that they can relate to it. So the book is relatable. It's in very easy English language, easy to understand, easy to comprehend. Also, if I may say so myself, it's a very honest piece of writing. It may not be very good in terms of writing skills, but it is a very, very honest account. It's not contrived, and I think that's what striking a chord, striking a note with the reader. So that's what Ashramed is all about, and I'm trying to popularize the term Ashramed, and I keep saying now, stay Ashramed and ashram state of mind and all of that. So I hope that catches on.
It will, definitely. And as far as you said that maybe the writing won't be as good, but it is a very honest narrative from your experience. I think in today's world that we live in, where we see memes and where we see honest and relatable content coming across social media and across online portals, I think at this point, honest opinions is what we are looking forward to more than, flowery words or things that look very attractive, because people want things that they relate to. They want to read, they want to see things that they relate to. So I think your being honest in your book is definitely more important, and that you have done, and that's the main thing about it. That definitely
I'm hoping so, Niharika, and that's the idea.
Ma'am, in your book you had mentioned this one line that sort of striked with me, that said, for me every day was like climbing the Mount Everest and back. And initially in this conversation also you mentioned that it was a very challenging experience for you.
Very.
Would you like to elaborate on that? Like, why did you?
Yeah, so for instance, Niharika, I like to sleep late. I think all creative people do that. They like to sleep late and wake up late as well.
Right.
Of course, you have children and they go to school in the morning, so you wake up early for them. But as a person, I would, just like to sleep very late and get up late as well. Right. So there in the ashram, I was waking up at 5 a.m. every day. Wow. That's like unthinkable, having my shower at that time. And then, we had about 4 hours of yoga practice every single day, which is like, a killer, like proper yoga practice, very, 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 very tough.
Rigorous.
We had meditation. Now, again, meditation for a person like me, I'm a very, very energetic, full of energy person, easily distractible. So just having me sit in one place, do meditation twice a day, that too for half an hour each, it was very, very, very difficult, because you had to sit still, you had to still your mind, you had to stop all the thoughts from coming into your mind. And then the food, the diet was very, very strict. We had no wheat, barely any salt in the food, and of course no non-vegetarian, goes without saying. So that was a challenge. No phone. I used to use it only for a half an hour in the evening, just used to text my family, and that's about it. I didn't miss that, but yeah, you're just away from your family, so that was challenging. And yeah, but physically, yes, extremely challenging physically, because I would be on, not just I, everyone, all of us, we would be on just 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Oh yes, and we had homework every day. Every evening we would have homework, and we had to write down. We had to write that down. So we would take a pen and a paper and write that down. So every day there was homework. So yeah, extremely challenging, physically, emotionally, mentally, but absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it.
Since you said that it was worth it and it was pretty challenging, so any one particular moment that was sort of groundbreaking for you, or something that really stayed with you, and that is very memorable?
When I did the headstand without support for the first time, that was my biggest challenge throughout my days in the ashram. I was trying to do the headstand, again, something that you learn so late in life, without, I was trying to do it without support. I couldn't do it. So the day I got up on the headstand without any help, without any support, and held it for some time, that definitely was a groundbreaking moment for me. And it kind of validated my thought that yes, if you think something, if you believe in something, if you push yourself to that point, all of us can achieve everything. Because if I can, then everyone else can.
That is great. And I think something like a headstand, that is a particular exercise, you actually see yourself growing, that one day you're able to do maybe 30% of it, then 40% of it, then 70% of it. And finally, when you reach that 100% mark, that's definitely very rewarding.
Very rewarding. I smile whenever I think of that. It was definitely one of the defining. And you just feel, because it's not just the physical, there's not just the physical success, not just the physical achievement.
Right.
It is everything that takes you to that moment. Everything. It's an overall kind of a achievement of, and that self-worth that comes into play. So,
definitely. Yeah. So, ma'am, now that you are back and you are into your lawyer life again, so what changes in your life now do you see, now that you have had an experience of 30 days at the ashram, learned so many new things, meditated? So have you inculcated some of those practices in your daily life now, or are there certain particular changes that you have experienced after this particular part of your life?
No, absolutely, Niharika. In fact, we were continuously told there at the ashram that, you're not being groomed to, just be separate like this and stay in an ashram all your life and not do anything that you normally do. You're being groomed to go back into the actual world. Do what you're supposed to do. Live your life as a family person, as a professional, as a social person, but be different.
Right.
That's what I've carried with me, that I am ashram even if I'm in court now, if I'm in the office, if I'm at home, because what I've been taught is that inside I should remain the same. It should not change. And that thereof, that stillness I have found, thanks to the ashram. And now even when I'm getting angry or I'm getting aggressive also, even in court, because you have to get aggressive in court.
Right.
I feel there is an arm's length distance that I can have now with myself, that is, the outward persona, and what is inside. And inside kind of remains the same. It remains balanced. It remains calm. It keeps looking. It just is a spectator without getting involved in everything and, reacting to every situation. So yeah, I have been groomed for that. And it has been 2 years since the ashram, but because I'm now also teaching classes, and I teach at least one class online every day, that keeps reminding me of what I've learned. And that is a good reminder every single day. And that's what I inculcate in my life as a professional, as a personal, in my personal life and in my social life.
Ma'am, now that you have been ashramed, so in your family, in your friends, so do you try to sort of communicate to them as well the kind of things that now you have been groomed into now that you are ashramed?
Absolutely, Niharika. And that's what the book is all about. That's exactly what the book is all about, because I want to share without being preachy. Because, when people tell you don't do this, do this, no one listens to you. And they say, who do you think you are?
Right. Right.
But when you say, I did this, I felt better doing this, then people listen because you are leading by example. You're telling them you've done it on yourself, you've experienced it, and if they are the same age, they are of the same profession, then they will also do that. So it's I'm not telling anyone anything, but I'm just sharing my experiences, which through the book and also everyday life, I try to share. I don't try to force anyone to learn yoga or anything, except my family, of course. My family, I am twist. But as far as my social circle is concerned, I just try to lead by example. I just show them that yes, this is possible, and I think a lot of people have kind of shown interest because of the fact that I'm not preaching anything. I'm just kind of leading by example or showing them a way out.
Right. And sharing your experience, because in our social circles, if we share our experience, people tend to sort of understand that, okay, if this worked for her, it might as well work for me.
Correct. Absolutely. Because like I said, mostly our stories are the same. We may tell them differently. And I say this in my book as well. Mostly all our stories are the same. We may come from different backgrounds and everything, but ultimately life takes a certain kind of path for all of us. So kahin na kahin you will find something to relate.
Right.
Okay, this happened to me and this happens to me as well. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was great talking to you. And I have read the book, and it has really sort of instilled inside me a feeling that, okay, maybe you don't even need a longer break. If you just tend to take short breaks in your even daily life, it can sort of wo therav kahin na kahin usme aa hi jayega. So I think that is something that I learned from your book, and I will definitely recommend it.
Thank you so much.
Definitely, ma'am. And I will recommend it to my listeners. I will recommend it to my family and friends, because this is something that we need in our daily lives, and we need to understand the importance of slowing down, because deadlines are there. The entire concept of rat race is there. And especially in journalism, I've seen that everyone wants to be the first one to give out a news. So that is something even more that we require in such a situation. So thank you so much for writing your experience. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. It's definitely a blessing for all the people who are trying to sort of accommodate into this whole idea of a fast-paced life. So it was great having a conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Niharika. Thank you so much. I'm also blessed to be part of this. And everyone out there, every professional out there who's trying to look for a work-life balance, I think this book is for them. Yeah.
Definitely. And I will definitely motivate all my viewers and audiences to definitely give Ashramed a read, because it will take you from chaos to calm, as Ms. Dahlia says.
Super. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining me today, ma'am. So guys, we just heard Ms. Dahlia talk about her experience at the Yoga Ashram, talk about how her life has been ashramed now, and talk about how a break is very important in our lives. So whenever you feel that you need to start fresh, whenever you feel that you need to take a break, whenever you feel that you need something more in life than the monotonous way that it is going, do it. Age doesn't matter. Your profession doesn't matter. If you need a break, you go for it. For more such meaningful conversations, tune into Cracking Conversations only on ABP Live Podcast with me, Niharika Nanda. The sound designing for this episode was done by Lalit. I will be back soon. Till then, stay tuned into ABP Live Podcast.
This is an ABP Live Podcast.